New Gen is coming to PC on March 4th, so all of you will be wondering how much money you'll be needing to get the additional vehicles and the HSW upgrades in GTA 5 Online. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how much money you need, and trust me, the amount of money you need is much more than you think, so stick around to the end so that you don't miss out on how much you need. Okay then, let's get into it. Starting off, we got the Arbiter GT. This thing is a New Gen exclusive car that's coming into GTA for PC when New Gen comes. This thing will be costing you between $2.4 to $2.5 million to buy the car, put HSW, upgrade it, and customize it. Now yes, this does seem like a lot, but this is one of the cheaper cars on the spectrum. I do want to also say that the stock prices of each car are going to be listed down in the description, so if you want to see the prices of the standard cars on this list, you should go and check in the description. Next up, we got the Astron Custom. To fully mod this vehicle with HSW, it's going to cost you $2.5 to $2.6 million. We already have the Astron in the game, which is slightly cheaper than the Astron Custom, but you can HSW the Astron Custom, you can't HSW the Astron. Next up, we got the Banshee. This thing will be costing you between $2.4 to $2.5 million to fully mod this thing with HSW. The Banshee is a super cool NPC car, so I'm super excited to test this thing out and see how it compares with other cars after it gets HSW. Next up, we got the Banshee GTS. This is quite an expensive mobile. This thing will be costing you $4.3 to $4.4 million to buy the car and put all the mods and HSW. However, it does come with some positives. The Banshee GTS is right now the fastest HSW car in the game, and it's based off a Viper ACR. Who doesn't like that car? So this is one of the cars I would recommend you get for HSW. Next up, we got the Brioso RA. To buy the car, put HSW and fully mod it, it's going to cost you $1.6 to $1.7 million. This is the cheapest HSW car in the game, however it isn't that good. Let me know in the comments if you're going to buy the Brioso RA, because not gonna lie, I don't know, this thing might not be that good. Next up, we got the Buffalo EVX. This thing will be costing you $3.9 to $4 million to buy the car, put HSW and mod it. The Buffalo EVX is already one of the best electric cars in the game, and with HSW this thing is going to be pretty OP. Now I haven't included the Imani tech prices of the cars, so that's going to be additional because this thing is able to have Imani tech such as armor plating, psych mines, as well as a missile lock-on jammer. Next up, we got the Cyclone II. This is another New Gen exclusive car, and this is a pretty cool one. This thing will be costing you $3 to $3.1 million to buy the car, put HSW and mod it. This thing is going to be the best electric car in the game because this thing is pretty quick without HSW, and with HSW it's going to be broken. I would recommend you guys get this thing, it's also really good looking. Next up, we got the Deveste Eight. To put HSW and mod it as well as customize it, this thing will be costing you $3.3 to $3.4 million. This thing is going to be a super interesting car to see because this is actually a really fast car without HSW, so it'll be interesting to see how fast this vehicle goes. Next up, we got the Entity MT. This thing will be costing you $3.6 to $3.7 million to buy the car and then put HSW and the mods. The Entity MT isn't that fast without HSW because it has engine resistance, so it's going to be super fun driving this thing fast because this thing is based off a Jesco, and we all know the Jesco is supposed to go fast, not slow. Next up, we got the Euros X32. This thing will be costing you $3 to $3.1 million to buy the car, put HSW as well as mod it. This thing isn't the craziest HSW car in the game, it's already not that fast, and with HSW it doesn't get to a crazy speed, so this is one of the cars you can skip. I know I'm going to be getting it because I love this car in general, but for driving fast etc, this thing isn't the best. Next up, we got the Firebolt ASP, a pretty recent car. This thing will be costing you $3.6 to $3.7 million to buy, mod, as well as put HSW, and this thing is going to be a pretty insane vehicle. This thing already has a really high top speed, and with HSW you can expect this thing to be going super fast. Yes, it is quite expensive, but it's going to be super fun to use, especially in the off-road category, because for some reason the Firebolt ASP is in the off-road category. Next up, we got the Hakuko Drag. This thing is a super cool bike which will be costing you $2.8 to $2.9 million to buy, put HSW as well as mod it. This is single-handedly the best bike in the game, especially with the HSW, since it's super easy to travel around because of how small it is and how fast it is, so it's super good in the HSW time trials. I feel like you guys should get the Hakuko Drag, it is super good. Next up, we got the Issi Rally. This thing will be costing you $2.9 to $3 million to buy it, customize it, put HSW, etc. This isn't anything special, it is just a rally Issi, and it's not that fast, so the HSW just helps this car just a tiny bit. I wouldn't really recommend this vehicle. Just before we continue with the video, I do want to say that 92.2% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you're finding this video useful, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be posting a ton of content like this. So yeah, let's get back into the video. Next up, we got the tIlati GTO Stinger TT. This thing will be costing you $4.2 to $4.3 million to buy the car as well as mod it and put HSW. Now I haven't included the Imani Tech price for this vehicle because this thing has armor plating, slicks as well as a missile lock-on jammer. So the price is a little bit more if you want to put the Imani Tech, but just to buy the car and mod it with HSW, it's going to cost you $4.2 to $4.3 million. I would overall recommend you guys make this into an Imani Tech car and make it an HSW car because this is one of the fastest HSW cars in the game, and with the Imani Tech it's going to be absolutely insane. Next up, we got the La Carouse. This thing will be costing you $3.1 to $3.2 million to buy the car, customize it, mod it as well as put HSW. This is already a super good car in the game. This thing has a ton of grip, really good acceleration, and with some HSW it can really help its top speed because it is an electric car. So yeah, this thing is going to be pretty OP, so you guys should keep your eye on this vehicle if you want to get it. Next up, we got the Monscroti. This thing will be costing you $3 to $3.1 million to buy, customize and put HSW and mod it, etc. The Monscroti is a really good car, and with HSW it's going to be pretty good. This thing is going to be a super cool vehicle because this is probably the best HSW off-road vehicle in the game right now. It might be able to beat the best off-road vehicles in the game. Next up, we got the Niobe. This thing will be costing you $3.5 to $3.6 million to buy the car, put HSW, etc. This thing is already a rocket with really good acceleration, a pretty high top speed and incredible turning. And with HSW this thing is going to be broken. So I would recommend you guys try to get this once HSW comes around. Next up, we got another new gen exclusive car, and that is the S95. This thing will be costing you $2.9 to $3 million to buy, put HSW, customize it and mod it. This thing is a pretty average HSW car in the game, but it is a new gen exclusive car and it's super cool because it's based off a Subaru BRZ, so I would recommend you guys try to get it. Next up, we got the Sentinel XS. This thing will be costing you $1.8 to $1.9 million to buy the car, customize it as well as mod it. Yes, this is not the best HSW car in the game, but it's super cool to drive NPC cars super fast, so this is going to be a super fun car to drive, at least for me. Let me know, are you guys going to be driving the Sentinel XS a little bit more because it's faster? Next up, we got the Sterling GT. This thing will be costing you $2.3 to $2.4 million to buy it, put HSW as well as mod it. This thing isn't the best HSW car in the game, however it is a pretty good sounding car. This is one of the cars I would recommend you guys get only if you have a lot of money and you want to basically get a lot of HSW cars. If you want to go with a limited selection, I wouldn't recommend this vehicle. Next up, we got the Turismo Classic. This thing will be costing you between $2 to $2.1 million to buy the car, put HSW as well as mod it. This again isn't a super special HSW car. It doesn't have a super high top speed, nor acceleration, nor crazy turning. Next up, we got the Vigero ZX and the Vigero ZX convertible. The Vigero ZX will be costing you $2.9 to $3 million to buy it, customize it and put HSW, and the convertible version will cost you $3.3 to $3.4 million to buy it, upgrade it as well as put HSW. The Vigeros are one of the fastest muscle cars in the game and one of the best HSW cars in the game, so honestly putting HSW on this car is a must. Next up, we got the Weaponized. This thing will be costing you $2.7 to $2.8 million to buy the car, put HSW and customize it. The Weaponized is not a good car, however if you want a troll vehicle and send your soccer mom van super fast, this is the correct vehicle for you to buy because this thing can outbeat non-HSW cars, which include a ton of cars which are like supercars, etc. So if you want to beat non-HSW cars with your van, this is the car for you to buy. Last but not least, we got the Weaponized Ignis. This thing is another new gen exclusive car, and this thing will be costing you $5.4 to $5.5 million to buy it, customize it and put HSW. By far the most expensive car on this list. However, the Weaponized Ignis is really good because it is the only weaponized vehicle on this list. Total, buying all the cars as well as customizing them and putting HSW, it's going to cost you between $7 to $72 million. Now let's also say that you have all the cars that you can buy right now. In that case, it's going to cost you $32 million, meaning that you'll be saving $38 to $40 million. Yes, this is quite expensive. I wouldn't recommend you guys get all the HSW cars. Just honestly get cars that you're going to drive more often. So just don't buy every HSW car, buy the cars that you're actually going to drive.